Okay, welcome out to the morning mailbag again. Another edition with Tim Justice, Coach T from TackleTrading.com. Take control of your financial future. This edition of the morning mailbag, the question I gathered was from the Trading Justice Google group. In Genesis Urado put a question in there on saying he's part of the November Master Trader group. I'm practicing some of the playbook tactics on my virtual trader, but I'm not sure what the difference between these trades and examples of stop-loss techniques for both. And the title of the question was the difference between a swing and a position trade. And I think that's a great question, GJ, and I want to get into it real quick. The first thing I would say is congratulations on deciding to move your education forward. That's very important. As a part of those forums and those groups, I think it's real critical that you're willing to jump in there and ask questions. I think a lot of beginners have a hesitancy. They don't want to feel like they're asking a bad question or too simple of a question, but the reality is most people in those groups could benefit from these kinds of conversations. So thank you very much for posting. Now, let's talk about swing and position. These are time frames you'll hear traders, discuss. What we're really discussing is on the daily chart. Let's say that we have a retracement. Is there any real difference between the pattern on a bullish retracement? No. What makes something a swing trade or a position trade are your expectations and then your management plan. The entry point will generally be the same. Your reading of the technical chart should be the same. What it comes down to, and I'm going to change colors here, is that when you're in a swing trade, possibly your target will be a shorter part of the pay range. Maybe 1 or 2 ATR, resistance. If you're going to go for a full pay range and you look back at that and you realize, okay, in the past to make that kind of move, it generally takes about 3 weeks of time, maybe even 5 weeks. Well, that's most likely going to be a position trade, okay? Position trade. So if you think about every trade as being set, stop, entry, target. You need a stop loss on every trade. You need to have a defined entry point, and you need to establish a target. Well, in this example here, your stop loss would need to be tighter. I'll make stop losses red here. So maybe a 10% from the ATR from the low, where your target won't be quite as much. On a swing trade, basically you're tightening things up to try to make things more efficient, more quick, and more predictable. Whereas on a position trade, generally you're going to go for a bigger target, a longer time frame, and you're going to need to change your expectations. So instead of, say, 1 ATR or 10% of the ATR below the low on a position trade, you might need to come down here like 8% stop loss. Now you may be thinking, well, Coach Tim, my rules in my book, in this book, in this... No, you got to realize there are different ways to trade. And what it comes down to, the core of swing versus position, is the management side of it. The entry doesn't change, the stop and target will. Now the only other addition to that would be that many times the reason somebody's willing to make a position trade and go for a bigger move, hold it longer, are because of outside factors. Things like, well, a dividend. What if it pays a good dividend, right? Or maybe you can sell a call against it. Or it has strong fundamentals. Or it's in a strong sector. Generally, my rule of thumb is if the reason you're in, and the only reason you're in is because you like the way the chart looks, most often that's going to be a swing trade. If the reason you're in is because you like the chart and you like some of these other factors, then it's more likely to be a position trade, and you can hold on to it for a little bit more. Okay, that's another edition of our morning mailbag. As always, you can join us at TackleTrading.com. Join us in the clubhouse and ask questions over there. We have a lot of activity on a daily basis. It's our most used part of our site, and people are in here all the time. We conduct a weekly coaches show on Tuesdays and a monthly coaches show the day before expiration. We put out a scouting report every Saturday. In fact, Coach Gino had a real interesting one this weekend. You should go check it out. And then we're also doing a newsletter every Sunday. One of the coaches, Coach Noah, Coach Matt, or Coach Tim, myself, come together and write a newsletter on Sundays and put it out there for our members. So if you're not a member of TackleTrading.com yet, come and join the team and get in the game.
Get off the sidelines and take control of your financial future at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.